Going live, going live. I'm live. We're live. Is that exciting? Is that exciting or what? All right. So I had this brilliant idea this morning. And so I have brought the prop that proves it. How was your Christmas? How were the days away from the normal that you plan to spend, and possibly or not, Mother Nature or other things stepped in and said, not so fast. How was that? How were the days when, oh, you know what I need to do? I'm just going to start here and say, all righty, then kids, we're back. There. How were the last few days? I had a quiet time this time because I've been doing something rather complicated. And so this holiday was an opportunity for me to just sort of go, oh, you know what? Oh, you know what? So much easier than so many other things. Now, I'm 5 minutes early for the time that I've allotted, which means that I can do this. And channel my inner Viking until other people join us. Okay, here's what's going on. Today, on the 27th of December, everyone is recovering. Everyone is sitting up, blinking, looking around, or not. They're shoveling out. They're wading out. They're huddling together, freezing. They're trying to figure out why and how the power won't come back on. They're imagining what they're going to do for New Year's Eve. They're with their loved ones and not. They're in the midst of a journey that got interrupted. People are doing what people do in the aftermath of a big public shared moment. Now, there are lots of people around the world, lots of countries, lots of cultures that don't see anything uniquely special about the third week of December, the fourth week of December. 1, 2, 3, yes, fourth week of December. They don't see anything remarkable about the 24th or the 22nd or the 25th or the 26th because it's not part of their culture. However, they can't avoid the echo effect. Good morning, Charles. How wonderful to see you. I just saw you over there. So for everyone reacting to, you made it to 250. Yes, I did. So for everyone reacting to something momentous in their lives or not, they're simply being buffeted by. This is what is often known in sailor circles as the doldrums. This is what happens when the wind stops, when we've been leaning in, madly, frantically, tap dancing, swirling, and then it ends. We fall down, or in my case, we fall backwards out of the side of the boat. And it is a tough time when this happens because the excitement that we had is not something we can sustain without leaning in and maintaining it. Excitement, we think excitement comes to us. No, we are the generators of the excitement. And after we've had excitement and we take that breath, everything feels a bit hollow. So when I got up this morning and I looked at the numbers, I could not believe it. Here on YouTube, you have done what I did not think was possible. You have brought me to 250 subscribers in my first year of being on YouTube, in my first year of staggering through and trying to figure out how to do all this stuff using technology I have no idea what to do with. And yet, when I reached out and I said, can you help? Will you tell your friends? You said, yeah, why not? Love you, Mom. And so Charles says, yay, now we need 500. and then 1,000. Everything about this is magical. Everything about this is a tribal event, because it certainly isn't me doing it. It certainly isn't me buying ads and promoting. It is you. It is you looking and saying, oh my God, look what she's trying to do. Yeah, yeah, sure, I'll give her some help. So that excited moment, something right after that happened that I talked about over on Facebook. And I'm going to just touch on it here because I don't want to duplicate everything and have people say, well, I already saw this. That's old news. But I am going to talk about something remarkable. And then I have another example to share with you. So the first big, oh my God, this morning, for me, just me, and hopefully for you, is 250 subscribers to Abby's YouTube channel. It's going to be the beginning of something. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm excited no matter what. So that was the first thing. The second thing, very sadly, was I learned that someone truly magical, someone truly brilliant, whom I had the opportunity to meet a few years ago, passed away on Christmas. And his name is Wallace Edwards. And if you Google him, Wally Edwards, he was and is the most extraordinary children's book author and illustrator. His art is breathtaking. His niece, Caitlin Fisher, who posted this morning, is an extraordinary world-changing artist who is working in augmented reality. Wally's sister, Marnie Edwards, when I first knew her back in the early days of show business in my life, she was a dancer. She still dances in our hearts. She was involved heavily in musical theater, and she was involved in a children's school, acting school, that I put together and managed for Roger Price. And you can't do it on television. How those things connect is crazy. When I met Wally and Caitlin, it was because of Marnie. I invited them to attend a book launch and a celebration of a new business called Shelter Movers, which helps abuse victims get out and find safety. Attending was Roger Price and our then Ottawa Mayor, Jim Watson, who grew up watching You Can't Do That on television. Roger, who continues to dedicate his whole life to children and empowering them to feel, I'm walking here, gets to meet Wallace Edwards for the first time, Caitlin Fisher for the first time, Marnie Edwards for the first time, at a book launch put together by me, at a business launch put together by me, thanks to many people in Ottawa who belong to this group called Ladies Who Lunch. How weird is that? How crazy a set of circumstances is that? So in my moment of sadness this morning, when I saw the post, and I thought about Marnie, and I thought about how incredible Wallace Edwards was and is in everyone's hearts, I thought, there's another story to tell. And that story is how on that one day, that day that we all got together and got to help a brand new group change other people's lives forever, that will never go away. And Wally will always be a living part of that, as will Caitlin, as will Marnie, and me. We will all always be part of that, thanks to that strange coming together, that ripple effect. One stone dropped, many ripples. So I want to tell you the other thing that is just extraordinary. On this day, many years ago, I was in a German hospital recovering from a rather remarkable car accident. It was remarkable in the damage and destruction. It was also remarkable in the fact that my girlfriend and I didn't die because the car that we were passengers in was reduced to a flat pancake, roughly the size of a sheet of 2x4 plywood. And we walked away. We walked away, more or less unscathed. I have no scars. The major impact was the left side of my face. Nothing broke. I didn't lose my sight. I occasionally forget things, and it may contribute to my wonky sense of humor. The thing is, I'm here. I'm still here. And so is my girlfriend, Deborah. And every year on this week, we reach out to each other and say, beyond Merry Christmas, we say, Happy Anniversary. Because every year since that day is a bonus year. And every single person she and I meet, together or separately, is part of that enduring ripple. Every single one of you watching the video today, Charles loves my sense of humor, thank God. Every single one of you watching the video today is able to watch this because I'm here, because I survived. We are all connected, and most especially on this day, and I'm going to tell you why. This is the most extraordinary situation you could not ever put together in your wildest imaginings. Much like the story I told on Facebook, which means that you need to go and watch the video that I just posted there. This one is even crazier. So, Deborah and I were in hospital. I was there for 4 weeks. She was there for 3. She was able to go home a week earlier because her injuries were not as fragile making, let's say. She was damaged on the back of her head, and she had some damage to her back, but her face was okay, and there was nothing that could be harmed in any way if she went home. I was still not really ready, because essentially from my nose to my left ear, I was a football. I was a deflated football. This looked perfectly normal. If you could do this, there I was. If you did this, there I wasn't. And the extraordinary miracle, not only that I'm here, but there are no scars. There is no, although there is a slight disproportion. If you take a look at any photograph of me, of which I post many, and you draw a line down the center, and my cheekbones are off, and my mouth is off, and my eyes, one eye is lower than the other, and that is from the accident. I wasn't born that way. So that's not the remarkable thing. Here's the remarkable thing. One day, I was at a read-through for You Can't Do That on Television. And a read-through, we did them every weekday after school. The kids would come, and we would all sit around the boardroom table and read the sketches and discuss them. And the kids would have input, and Leslie and I would have input. And Roger was there, and the writers were there, and Brenda was there, and Carol was there. And we were all leaning into the ways that we could interpret the genius that was coming off the page. And all of a sudden, I realized that we were reading a sketch about mom making liver. And I forget what the vegetable was at the time. It might have been Brussels sprouts. And I said, oh my God, does this take me back? And Roger said, why? And I said, well, I have a story about liver. He said, oh, do tell, Abby, do tell. And I said about the accident. I said about this awful thing that had happened. And I said, it took me, yes, it took me 4 weeks before I was able to eat solid food, because my face was so damaged. It wasn't bandaged. They were giving me extreme vitamin E treatments to fix the skin, but I couldn't move my jaw. Everything was really, really painful, and I was pretty much reduced to eating gruel, which, you know what? The joy and the magic of gruel wears off really quickly, just in case you were wondering. And so they'd had Christmas, and the doctor came to me and said, in that accent that he had, that they had a little surprise for me, and it was going to be magical, and it would make me feel less sad that I couldn't be home with my family for Christmas. So here's what they did. And I was going to have my first solid meal. You can see this coming, right? You only think you can see this coming. So they brought it in. I was all excited. I was allowed to sit up, because for a long time I wasn't allowed to sit up. So I was sitting up in the bed. And he brought in this tray. It was like a plate covered and everything. Because usually it was just a bowl of this stuff that I could spoon in, mush. And so I was all excited. And I was getting ready to lift the thing. And the doctor in there said, no, 9. Wait, you must wait. And I said, why? It's going to get cold. And he said, because this is the second part of the surprise. So I said, okay. But I was really hungry. So as the second part of the surprise unfolded, I lifted the lid and I saw two things simultaneously that changed me forever on the 27th of December. This is what I saw. I saw a plate of liver, because I could smell it, liver and lima beans. And I looked up in disbelief at the doctors. And what I saw all around him and behind him was a choir of small children singing Christmas carols in German. And they sang and they sang and they sang and they sang. And they sang, and I just sat there. How was the liver? It was liver. Well, how do you think it was? It was awful. Was it tender? I have no idea. I have no recollection. So I'm telling Roger that, and he said, oh, really? Brenda, make a note. We're going to change up the vegetable. And I said, oh, Roger, no, really. Oh, really? There's no need. And he said, oh, yes. Oh, yes, quite definitely, Abby. There most certainly is. So what I have never shared with anyone before this moment is that every single time I carried in liver and lima beans and forced Les, or I came in as Les's mother and forced him, and I forced the kids, as mom, who triumphed, not having any idea why. What's wrong, dear? We got the liver on sale. If you bought 50 pounds, you got 50 pounds free. Mom, it went right over her head. Actress Abby, though. So anytime any of you go and look up any sketch where I am serving liver and lima beans, and you watch the sketch, you now know the subtext that was going on. You know the evil joke that Roger was perpetuating. You know how the crew putting that together, the props, the special effects people making that the most disgusting thing you could possibly see. They were all doing it specially for me. As some kind of cosmic getting even. Now, if that isn't a ripple effect connecting the distant past to the recent past to the current present, I don't know what is. This liver grows. It's a big here and says, and yeah, smothered onion. Here's the thing: people always say to me, have you ever tried my mother's? You've never tried my mother's recipe. You'd love it if you had my mother's recipe. And I always say, is there liver in it? Because here's the thing. It's for me, just for me, it's not the taste so much. Because yeah, you can smother stuff. You know, you put enough good sauce on anything, you can eat it. It's the texture of it. The texture of it, when I try to chew it, has the same effect on me as the sound of fingernails on a blackboard. It just all the hair on the back of my neck stands up. I get chills. There's a gag reflex. I think the gag reflex is from the Christmas. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. But everything about it is just wrong. Meat isn't supposed to taste like that. Well, that's because it's organ meat, Abby. Yes, I know why. It's not the why. It's not why does it taste like that? Why do I have to eat it if I hate it? So everything about the coincidence, the ripple effect, the overlapping of stories does something extraordinary for us. And this is the life hack I want to talk about, because right now, all of us are in the middle of waiting for something. You know, if we were busily celebrating something recently, okay, the celebration is over, and all that's left now is the cleanup. Okay, so then we clean up, and then what? We have to wait for the next thing. So What if you don't have to wait? What if you don't have to deal with the letdown? What if you look around you as you clean up? What if you stop, if you're on social media and you see a face? If you see a post, you hear a song, you're outside, you're looking outside, you see something, you watch a little animal scampering like crazy across the snow or across the desert, I saw this thing the other day, lizards in the cold weather in the south falling out of trees. There's a moment. So what has ever fallen out of a tree on your head? If you give yourself permission to be present in this moment and look at what is happening around you, look at the people, look at the stories, look at the experiences, and allow yourself to remember something that connects automatically, then you have a wonderful journey that's beginning for you. You have a wonderful opportunity to experience memories and think of people and reach out to them and say, you're not going to believe this, but I just remembered, and tell them. And they will say, oh my God, just the other day I saw a picture of that and I was thinking of you. Our stories live on. Our memories of people as they were live on. We change. We move forward. We evolve and grow. The thing is, we don't change, move forward, evolve, and grow in a background. We are changing and evolving and growing from those memory seeds. We carry them with us. Today, I can remember as vividly as that December 27th, way back in the midst of time, when my life is not in my control. I'm being offered one and only one choice, one and only, the first only solid food in a month. And it's the one meal I loathe. And it is the one form of entertainment that I would cross mountains to avoid. It's not that I don't like children. I just don't need to have a bunch of them singing at me. Unless I invite them. Unless I say, let's hear you sing. Okay then, but don't foist them on me. I wasn't trained for that. I'm an only child. The only child in my life was me. So I don't have any practice. I don't have any favorite memories of being around other little kids. Why? Well, we kept moving. I don't even remember them. So the reason I'm sharing this, it used to be like that with tomatoes, Roma tomatoes now. Everyone has a memory of something that they went, ooh, no. And when it comes back, when they're faced with it again, they go right back to that, ooh, no. But instead of focusing on the ooh, no, think about all the other things that happened around that moment, because that's the show. That's the show that we bring forward with us. On this day, I refused to eat sloppy Joe. It's the only time I wouldn't eat dinner when I was a kid. Good morning, Billy. Nice to see you. You know the thing about sloppy Joe? It's messy. It's sloppy for a reason. Every single one of us has a meal memory, and it's associated with something else. When we put the associations together, what we get is this incredible shared story of craziness, of foolishness. And what happens? What happens is, once the memories are over and we hang up from the person we call to say, you're never going to believe this, I need to share this with you. Do you have a minute? When that call is over, we are no longer in that letdown space. We have lifted ourselves up and into a current moment reliving of something magical. We have moved beyond, now what? And we're already in, oh boy, we're already leaning in to the next great moment. So I have been working sometimes very, very diligently, and other times thwarted, on this amazing opportunity to share people's stories about turning around their lives when life suddenly hits a wall and we have totally different choices. The project is called Pivotry in Motion because it is more magical than a mere pivot. It's not just I hit the wall, bounced off, and went in a 90-degree other direction. This is purposeful. Pivotry is us taking ownership. Pivotry is us falling in love with, buying into, caring passionately about something new, something that causes us to shift not only our perspective, not only our physical presence, it also causes us to shift our beliefs and our willingness to take risks and try something new. It is rare and it is brilliant when it happens. And what I've discovered in interviewing all these incredible people is that all of us hit a very similar moment. And the moment was when our heart, our energy, our subconscious emotional survival brain, our conscious functioning practical brain, and our most recently evolved strategic brain came together at the same time. And on all three levels, all of them triggered, let's do this. I'm in, no conditions. That's Pivotry in Motion. And my goal as we move forward, with, by the way, 250 subscribers, soon to be 500, my goal is to create a blend of funny stories, of humor, of aha moments, of insights, of life hacks, of practical and impractical messages and videos and stories that we all can ripple from, that we all can share with each other, that our tribe can thrive on and grow, and that we take on a completely different point of view in the face of good things and shocking things and disappointing things. And the reason I've chosen to do this, Billy and I talk about this all the time, is that this is a coming together on purpose of Abby and Mom and all the other characters and all the other stories that have made me who I am and have entertained you for as long as you have joined me. And now that you're part of this story, we together are moving forward, making waves. And I think it's going to be incredible. This isn't coaching. This isn't changing your vibration. This isn't manifesting. This isn't the law of attraction. This is creating the energy flow. This is the wave that we are building. This is us learning to lean in as we build and breathe when we let go. That is us together encouraging each other, cheering each other on, no matter where we are on this crazy globe. We got this because we're not alone. So no matter how alone you may be feeling, who'd have thought that this was possible? Let's make the best of it. Exactly. Exactly. We are the best of it. We are the best of it. We don't have to be the change. We are the change. We are the jungle drums drumming. We're not dancing to a different drummer. We are the drums. And when we do it together, well, people still wonder how the Vikings conquered the world so quickly. And the answer was this. This is who we are and the magic we have. So I'm going to be back on Thursday to talk about the new year. I'm going to give you a teaser. On behalf of all tigers everywhere, I want to apologize to you for the year of the tiger, because tigers, after all, are a little overwhelming, especially if they're part tiger and part tigger, really. Resourceful, resilient, and relentless, kind of. And so, first of all, I'm apologizing to you for all of that. And secondly, I'm warning you that you're going to need to brace yourself, because what we're coming into is the year of the rabbit. And if you thought tigers were challenging, you ain't seen nothing yet. So I'm going to talk a lot about that and tell you the story about my experience with bunny rabbits and bunnies and all that. So until I see you on Thursday, I want you to, first of all, you know the drill. You need to be good to you, and you need to hug your loved ones. And the second thing I want you to do for me is to reach out to all the people you nudged, cajoled, and nagged and guilted into subscribing to my channel, and thank them for me. Allow my voice to come through you to say, this is the most extraordinary present ever. And I can't wait to see 500 and 1,000 after that. And then, as Billy has said, there'll be no stopping us. So lean into your memories, allow them to excite you about the possibilities that are coming, and we will chat very soon. You're awesome. I couldn't do this without you. Bye for now.